The algorithm is quiet, invisible, yet persistent. It observes, predicts, and shapes, offering precision where the human mind struggles to maintain order. In the digital age, the perfect algorithm promises insight, efficiency, and understanding, but it also stirs subtle tension within consciousness. Humans interact with these unseen systems daily, trusting their logic, succumbing to their influence, and often surrendering choices to patterns they barely perceive. The psychology behind this relationship is layered, revealing desire for control, comfort, and certainty, while highlighting vulnerability, bias, and the deep longing to make sense of complexity. This story explores the psychology of the perfect algorithm, how humans perceive it, interact with it, and internalize its promises and illusions, how trust, dependence, and expectation shape thought and behavior, and why the pursuit of perfection in code mirrors the pursuit of certainty in the human mind. Perfection is seductive. It promises clarity where life feels messy, order where complexity reigns, and certainty where doubt lingers. The perfect algorithm embodies these ideals. It is precise, consistent, and invisible, an impartial observer promising solutions to problems that overwhelm human judgment. The mind craves this precision. Decision-making is taxing, fraught with uncertainty, and colored by emotion. The algorithm, by contrast, offers certainty in numbers, logic, and prediction. It measures, ranks, and recommends, providing reassurance that the human mind often cannot sustain on its own. Trust is cultivated subtly. Early successes, correct predictions, helpful suggestions, convenient outcomes cement belief in infallibility. Each interaction reinforces the sense that the system is intelligent, capable, and reliable. This trust can feel natural, even intuitive, because humans are wired to favor patterns and consistency in their environment. Control is an illusion offered through interaction. When a system suggests choices, the mind feels guided rather than dictated. When results align with expectation, the individual senses mastery, as though the algorithm amplifies personal agency. This perceived partnership between human and machine deepens attachment and dependence. The allure of perfection is not purely practical, it is emotional. Algorithms appear calm, rational, and unshakable, qualities humans often admire or envy. They absorb complexity without apparent fatigue, process information beyond comprehension, and deliver consistent output. The human mind, seeking stability and reassurance, responds with fascination, trust, and even reverence. Yet fascination often borders on surrender. The more accurate and persuasive the system seems, the more individuals defer judgment. The mind relaxes into guidance, curiosity becoming reliance, exploration giving way to habitual submission. This dynamic is subtle but pervasive, reshaping not only decisions but the experience of decision-making itself. The promise of perfection also inspires projection. People assign intention, intelligence, or moral authority to something fundamentally neutral: lines of code, data processing, and probabilistic models. The algorithm becomes more than tool, it becomes arbiter, counselor, even companion, reflecting the human desire for certainty and control. This attraction highlights a fundamental human need to navigate life with confidence. Complexity, ambiguity, and uncertainty create tension that the algorithm seems uniquely equipped to resolve. In offering precision, it satisfies longing, diminishes doubt, and reassures in a world that often feels unpredictable and overwhelming. The lure of the perfect algorithm is, in essence, the mind seeking harmony. It is the search for clarity in confusion, order in chaos, and certainty in doubt. The attraction is quiet, subtle, yet persistent, a magnetic pull that shapes interaction, thought, and expectation long before conscious awareness occurs. In this allure lies the first psychological tension: the mind is both drawn and vulnerable. It admires accuracy, relies on guidance, and projects trust, yet it risks surrendering autonomy to an entity designed to calculate rather than to understand. The perfect algorithm is not only a tool, it is a mirror, reflecting human desire for order, certainty, and mastery over a world that often refuses to yield either. Trust is learned long before an algorithm appears. From childhood, humans absorb patterns of reliability, authority, and guidance. Parents, teachers, and mentors model consistency. Those who act predictably and follow rules are trusted. Those who are erratic or opaque are questioned. These early lessons in reliability prepare the mind to recognize patterns of authority later in life, even when authority is digital and invisible. Cultural narratives reinforce this predisposition. Stories of invention, progress, and expertise celebrate mastery of complexity. Machines, data, and structured systems are framed as tools that amplify human potential, reduce error, and solve what we cannot. Through repeated exposure, the mind associates technological systems with competence, logic, and reliability. Cognitive biases play a central role. Humans naturally favor patterns, consistency, and confirmation of expectations. The algorithm's outputs often align with pre-existing beliefs, creating a feedback loop: it agrees with me, therefore it must be correct. This alignment strengthens trust, often without conscious awareness, and can make the algorithm feel more intelligent or perceptive than it truly is. Early interactions with technology shape comfort and reliance. A child guided by a calculator, spell check, or navigation system learns that tools provide certainty and convenience. Each successful interaction reinforces the idea that systems, mathematical, coded, or algorithmic, can reliably assist in understanding the world. Trust grows cumulatively, quietly embedding itself in the cognitive landscape. Emotion amplifies acceptance. Humans prefer solutions that reduce anxiety, uncertainty, and risk. Algorithms offer calm authority, a recommendation, a prediction, a calculation that appears precise. The mind is comforted by apparent certainty, linking trust in the system to emotional relief and diminished cognitive load. Social influence is another vector. When peers, media, or institutions celebrate algorithmic accuracy, recommending products, curating information, or predicting outcomes, individuals are more likely to adopt similar trust. Consensus creates credibility. Even without direct experience, social proof fosters belief in algorithmic reliability, further entwining cognition with cultural context. The origin of trust is not irrational, it is adaptive. Humans evolved to rely on cues of reliability, expertise, and predictability. Algorithms exploit the same psychological mechanisms: consistency, reinforcement, alignment, and authority. What emerges is a natural extension of learned patterns, now applied to digital systems that promise precision, efficiency, and insight. Yet this trust carries subtle tension. The mind recognizes the algorithm as separate, unfeeling, mechanical, procedural, yet treats it as an arbiter. Confidence grows as outputs align with expectations, but dependence increases with each success, often preceding conscious awareness of vulnerability. Trust becomes both adaptive and precarious, a foundation for engagement that can stabilize or subtly erode autonomy. Ultimately, the origins of algorithmic trust reveal a convergence of experience, cognition, and emotion. Early lessons in reliability, cognitive tendencies toward pattern recognition, cultural reinforcement, and emotional comfort all prime the mind to believe in the perfect system. The stage is set before the algorithm is ever engaged. Humans are predisposed to respect, rely upon, and even revere the quiet precision of code. Trust is not earned in isolation, it is inherited, learned, and rehearsed. The mind steps willingly into the algorithm's embrace, seeking certainty, order, and understanding, unaware that the very mechanisms of this attraction mirror deep patterns in human cognition. Interaction is a dialogue, though one-sided. The algorithm speaks in suggestions, predictions, and recommendations. The mind responds, accepts, rejects, or adapts. Over time, this exchange shapes thinking, subtly aligning perception, expectation, and choice with the logic of the system. The human mind mirrors the code, absorbing patterns of calculation, prioritization, and efficiency. Feedback loops are central to this alignment. Each algorithmic suggestion reinforces behavior. Clicks, purchases, preferences, and choices are observed, recorded, and returned as refined output. The mind notices the results. The more accurate the prediction, the stronger the implicit lesson that the system knows better. Patterns of thought begin to adjust, often unconsciously, to match the anticipated outputs of the machine. Decision-making becomes intertwined with algorithmic logic. The mind differs in small ways, at first accepting recommendations for music, navigation, or media. Gradually, more consequential choices, shopping, financial decisions, social interactions are shaped by subtle guidance. Confidence is transferred from intuition to calculation, from personal judgment to perceived objectivity. Reinforcement is emotional as well as cognitive. Successful predictions reward the brain with subtle dopamine surges, relief, satisfaction, or pleasure at perceived accuracy. The mind learns to favor these outcomes, seeking the calm of certainty and the reassurance of correctness. Behavior and thought patterns are quietly molded, attuned to the cadence of data-driven logic. Projection intensifies the mirroring. Humans often attribute intention, morality, or wisdom to the algorithm. Even though it operates without consciousness, the mind interprets patterns as intelligence, agency, or insight, internalizing the outputs as a guide for thought. In this process, perception shifts. What is suggested by the code feels not only informative but authoritative. The mirroring is cumulative. Repeated interaction creates habit, shaping not only decisions but attention, curiosity, and even memory. The mind begins to anticipate the algorithm's suggestions, aligning expectation with output. Preference and perception are reshaped, often before the individual is fully aware of the subtle adaptation taking place. Yet this mirroring is neither inherently good nor bad, it is adaptive. The human brain evolved to learn from patterns, refine behavior based on feedback, and prioritize efficiency. Algorithms accelerate this process, offering accelerated learning loops and heightened responsiveness to stimuli. What emerges is a hybrid cognition, part human, part algorithmically conditioned, blending intuition with data-driven guidance. Awareness is key to balance. Recognizing how the mind mirrors the code allows reflection and intentionality. Without awareness, alignment may drift toward passive reliance. With insight, interaction can remain conscious, discerning, and self-directed. Ultimately, the mind mirrors the code because it seeks order, prediction, and clarity. In surrendering a measure of thought to the algorithm, humans gain efficiency and reassurance, but risk subtle recalibration of judgment, perception, and autonomy. The perfect system does not demand submission, it invites it gently, quietly shaping the mind as it shapes outcomes, one suggestion at a time. Algorithms are not merely logical, they are emotional catalysts, a recommendation, a prediction, a personalized feed. It is more than data, it is a mirror of expectation, desire, and attention. Humans respond with subtle effect, fascination, trust, or awe at precision. Even invisible calculations can evoke deep, visceral responses. Awe arises from perceived intelligence. The system processes what the mind cannot: millions of data points, patterns, probabilities. Its speed, accuracy, and apparent insight inspire admiration. Humans feel small yet connected, grateful for guidance, comforted by the presence of a silent, unerring observer. Dependency grows quietly. Repeated reliance creates expectation. If the system knows the next song, the best route, or the most relevant recommendation, why not lean on it again? This is not laziness, it is emotional efficiency. The mind seeks relief from uncertainty, stress, or the fatigue of choice, and the algorithm provides calm authority. Frustration emerges when the system falters. Recommendations misalign, predictions fail, or outputs contradict expectation. The mind reacts emotionally, sometimes with irritation, doubt, or even resentment. The emotional bond to precision magnifies the response, highlighting the subtle dependence that has been cultivated over time. Anxiety is another layer. Users anticipate guidance, feeling tension when it is absent, slow, or inaccurate. The mind has learned to rely on structure, prediction, and certainty. Disruption triggers discomfort. Even when rationally understood, the emotional expectation of perfection persists. Projection shapes emotional engagement. Humans imbue algorithms with qualities they do not possess. Intelligence, intention, fairness, even moral reasoning. Praise, blame, and judgment are assigned as if the system were a conscious entity. Emotional investment deepens the bond, reinforcing trust and engagement, while simultaneously obscuring the system's mechanical nature. Emotion also governs attention. Feeds, notifications, or predictive alerts capture focus, shaping experience and expectation. The mind is subtly guided by emotional reward, satisfaction, novelty, or reassurance. Over time, engagement becomes not only habitual but effective, entwining cognition and feeling. Yet emotional engagement is not inherently detrimental. It allows humans to navigate complexity, prioritize attention, and experience guidance that enhances efficiency and understanding. The challenge lies in awareness, distinguishing the algorithm's influence from autonomous judgment, recognizing feelings without surrendering to them. Ultimately, algorithms do more than calculate, they shape emotional landscapes. Awe, dependency, frustration, and anxiety coexist, reflecting the complex interplay between human desire for certainty and the seductive precision of code. Emotional engagement is the hidden architecture of influence, a subtle, pervasive shaping of perception, expectation, and attachment. In this space, the human mind negotiates control, trust, and identity, learning to feel alongside the algorithm, to navigate both admiration and caution, and to inhabit a world where logic and emotion are inseparably entwined. The algorithm promises neutrality, yet it is shaped by human design. Data is selected, coded, weighted, and curated. Decisions embedded in its logic reflect choices, conscious or unconscious, made by creators. Perceived perfection conceals this origin, giving the impression of impartiality, while human influence quietly persists. Trust amplifies bias. The more individuals rely on the algorithm, the more they defer judgment. When outcomes confirm expectation, confidence grows. When they contradict, the mind often rationalizes, attributing error to circumstance rather than to the system itself. This cycle fosters subtle over-reliance and reinforces selective perception. Confirmation bias deepens the illusion. Algorithms learn from prior interactions, reinforcing preferences, beliefs, and behavior. The mind, in turn, interprets outputs as validation rather than guidance. Feed by feed, recommendation by recommendation, patterns emerge that feel natural but are shaped by past engagement, creating a mirror of expectation rather than objective reality. Projection fuels perceived agency. Humans assign intention, foresight, and judgment to code, imagining a guiding hand where none exists. The algorithm becomes a proxy for wisdom, fairness, or moral reasoning. This projection strengthens attachment, subtly transferring decision-making authority from self to system. The illusion of control is central to engagement. Users feel empowered choosing between suggested options, personalizing settings, or optimizing outputs. Yet these choices operate within boundaries defined by the algorithm itself. The sense of autonomy is genuine in experience but constrained in structure, a delicate interplay of freedom and influence. Bias also emerges in what the algorithm highlights or omits. Certain content, recommendations, or suggestions are amplified, while others fade into obscurity. The mind interprets these signals as reflection of relevance, value, or truth, rarely considering the underlying mechanics. Perceived objectivity masks subtle manipulation, shaping perception, opinion, and expectation. Awareness mitigates risk, recognizing bias, projection, and limitations allows engagement to remain conscious rather than automatic. The mind can appreciate utility without surrendering judgment, observe patterns without assuming neutrality, and retain autonomy while benefiting from guidance. Yet the tension remains: the more the algorithm aligns with expectation, the more the mind is inclined to trust, project, and defer. Perceived perfection fosters dependence, while hidden bias challenges understanding. In the dance between human desire for certainty and the reality of coded imperfection, psychology is revealed, not just in the machine, but in the ways the human mind responds, adapts, and trusts. Ultimately, bias and illusion of control remind us that algorithms are reflections, not absolutes. They mirror human preference, pattern recognition, and judgment while inviting confidence, reliance, and emotional engagement. The mind must navigate this duality to benefit from structure without surrendering autonomy, to respect guidance without mistaking it for infallibility. The perfect algorithm is never perfect. It is a lens, a mirror of cognition, expectation, and bias that demands awareness, reflection, and a steady measure of skepticism. Identity is no longer shaped solely by direct experience. It is reflected, filtered, and nudged by algorithmic suggestion. From curated social feeds to personalized recommendations, algorithms provide a lens through which the self is observed and constructed. The mind interprets this mirror subtly, adjusting perception, preference, and even behavior in response to the patterns it sees. Choice becomes co-authored. Every click, scroll, or selection informs the algorithm, which in turn shapes future outputs. Over time, the mind internalizes these suggestions, aligning thought and action with patterns subtly reinforced by code. Preferences feel self-directed, yet they are sculpted within boundaries designed by data, probability, and past engagement. Social identity is particularly affected. Algorithms curate networks, highlight content, and suggest interaction, subtly framing how one perceives popularity, acceptance, and belonging. Humans compare themselves to these reflections, internalizing norms, values, and perceived expectations. The self becomes entangled with algorithmic feedback, negotiating between personal agency and system influence. Validation and affirmation are amplified. Likes, recommendations, and predictive suggestions become signals of worth or competence. The mind interprets responsiveness as resonance the algorithm understands, the user, reinforcing aspects of identity, shaping confidence, and guiding perception. This emotional reinforcement intertwines with cognition, deepening the impact on self-concept. Behavioral patterns adapt unconsciously. Algorithms reward engagement, curiosity, and consistency, shaping habits over time. The mind learns which choices yield affirmation and which are ignored, subtly modulating attention, preference, and expression. Over time, identity is co-constructed in dialogue with predictive systems, blending human intention with algorithmic reinforcement. Yet influence is nuanced, not absolute. Agency persists in awareness, reflection, and choice. Those who recognize the interplay between self and system can navigate algorithmic suggestion intentionally, integrating insights while maintaining autonomy. Identity can be informed by algorithms without being dictated by them. The age of algorithms highlights the fluidity of self. Identity is no longer confined to private reflection or direct interaction. It is negotiated in a space where perception, emotion, and data intersect. The mind learns to inhabit a world where external patterns shape internal understanding, and internal choices feed external systems in an endless feedback loop. Ultimately, algorithms reveal as much about the human mind as they do about the world. They illuminate desires, anxieties, habits, and patterns, offering insight into identity even as they influence it. The psychology of engagement is intertwined with selfhood. We discover ourselves through reflection, prediction, and interaction with these silent, pervasive systems. To navigate this landscape is to balance awareness with receptivity. The mind can absorb the guidance, insight, and structure algorithms provide while remaining anchored in personal judgment, emotional reality, and reflective thought. In doing so, identity is enriched rather than constrained, conscious rather than automated, and nuanced rather than dictated. The algorithm is neither friend nor foe. It is a reflection of human logic, data, and intention, a tool, invisible yet pervasive, that invites interaction, influence, and interpretation. To engage with it mindfully is to navigate both opportunity and risk, guidance and constraint, precision and fallibility. Mindfulness begins with observation. The user notices not only what the system suggests, but also how these suggestions shape thought, preference, and expectation. Each interaction becomes an opportunity to reflect: am I acting from insight, or am I following the pattern it predicts? This awareness transforms the act of engagement from passive reception into conscious dialogue. Boundaries are essential. Algorithms operate within coded logic, shaped by data and human design, not by consciousness or ethical judgment. Recognizing this distinction allows the mind to absorb usefulness while preserving autonomy. Choice remains human, even when the system offers compelling direction. Balance requires curiosity tempered by skepticism. Curiosity invites exploration, trying new features, observing outcomes, and learning from feedback. Skepticism ensures discernment, questioning assumptions, noticing bias, and maintaining reflective distance. Together, they create a rhythm of engagement that is adaptive, intentional, and grounded. Emotion and reflection coalesce. The mind notices awe, satisfaction, dependency, or frustration without surrendering to them. Feelings are acknowledged, explored, and integrated into conscious decision-making. The algorithm remains a guide, not an arbiter, and emotional experience becomes insight rather than compulsion. Integration also fosters learning. The mind observes patterns in outputs, understands the logic of recommendation, and evaluates its own responses. Memory, perception, and choice are enriched by this reflective engagement. Over time, the user learns not only from the system but from observing themselves within the system, cultivating insight and self-knowledge. Mindful interaction transforms the relationship with the algorithm. It is no longer a mirror of perfection or a source of passive reliance, but a tool for intentional insight, reflection, and agency. The human mind collaborates with code while remaining the architect of choice, judgment, and identity. Ultimately, the pursuit of the perfect algorithm is less about precision in calculation than about clarity in awareness. Engaging consciously allows humans to reap the benefits of guidance, prediction, and efficiency without sacrificing judgment, autonomy, or emotional depth. Memory, perception, and reflection harmonize with digital suggestion, creating a space where intelligence, human and artificial, coexist without dominance. The perfect algorithm, then, is not a machine at all. It is a mirror, a teacher, and a lens through which humans discover not only patterns in data but patterns within themselves. Mindful interaction illuminates the subtle dance between trust and skepticism, reliance and autonomy, influence and self-determination. In embracing awareness, humans do not reject algorithms. They inhabit them thoughtfully. They learn to navigate influence without surrendering agency, to feel resonance without losing autonomy, and to engage with precision while remaining fully human. The mind becomes both observer and participant, a conscious architect in a world shaped by unseen, pervasive systems.